Morgan, thanks so much for meeting with us. I really, really appreciate it. Um, just so pumped on you right now, man, as everyone else is, obviously. And you recently just broke records with Apple Music by having the most pre added country album on the platform's history, which is insane. Dangerous, the double album. Super stoked for that. And I just wonder when you were starting out in this industry, you must have had an image or a dream of what you thought your life would be like when you made it. And I want to know, does your life now align with what you anticipated?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't know. I didn't really think about it too much. I guess I'm more of a day to day type of person. I try to capitalize on each opportunity that I'm given each day. That might sound like a cliche answer, but that's true. I really do. I don't think too far into the future, especially not when it comes to my music. I'm just thankful that it's resonating the way it is right now. But I wanted to be able to just be myself and to be honest and not have to change anything or try hard. I didn't, I mean, obviously I have to try and work, really hard, but I didn't want to have to have filters and things like that. I just kind of wanted to be honest and authentic, and I think that's really what's resonated a long way with my fans. I think they know that and they get that, and I'm super thankful that that's the way it is. Life as far as my needs and my wants are a lot more accessible now, for me personally and for for the people I love. So that part is a huge blessing for me. But it's I don't know. I just feel fortunate, and I'm glad I get to do what I love, and just that people really care about it.
Oh yeah, we care big time. But I asked that because of the song "Living the Dream," which I love so much, by the way. But it kind of has this almost like dark kind of vibe of just stardom, and I imagine that those days happen where you're just like, okay, this is overwhelming, and I don't know, how do you kind of like push past that, or how do you cope with that?
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, the song comes from an honest place. Like you said, it's some days. It's not something I feel constantly.
Yeah.
For the most part, it's like I was saying earlier, it's a huge blessing. But there are times, when you something happens or you go through something and you realize that some people don't really see you as a human anymore. They kind of see you as just a thing, and that's fine. I get that, but it's still a little bit weird transitioning into that spot. um I kind of didn't realize that people cared that much until a couple months back. Some just some circumstances, some situations that I went through made me realize that, well, wow, people really do care. All these people don't have your best interest at heart. You can't continue to do the things that you've always done, without at least not a little more precaution. So
Bounce back from that really nicely, by the way, especially on SNL, which I'll get to. But I just got to say, you handled that really, really well, man. I think that
thank
was
you.
good. Yeah.
Thank you. It really, I think the way you push past it is just to realize who your close friends are, your family, your team, your people that you trust, and keep those people close, because I have a really good team around me, and those people care for me, and I care for them. Just to make sure you got the right people around you is the most important thing.
Yeah, 'cause you've been
You
with your
start
band
getting,
since day one, right? Like,
yeah, my band,
yeah.
yeah, my band's been with me from the start. My team as well. So I mean, I have an incredible support system, and those people they are very important. And the more that you get, um, the more you do, the more people want your attention, and you got to be careful about where you spread that out.
Yeah, definitely. And one thing that I imagine the people that you're around inspire you, and, maybe some days more than others. But during quarantine, I know personally for myself, I was so unmotivated. I drank more in like 4 months than I have in my entire life cumulatively. I think I was just so unmotivated to do anything. And then you're out there, you're not even releasing one album, but a double album. Would you get like bursts of inspiration, or what did you actually find it quite trying to be like, "Okay, today I'm locking myself in my room. I'm putting it like I'm busting out a couple of songs." Like how did you find the motivation during quarantine? Cuz I don't think the rest of us did.
Yeah, I was very worried about that too when quarantine happened, because, like you said, inspiration for me comes from people a lot.
Hmm.
So that was, that was, if not taken away, it was severely diminished. Um, I was concerned. But I went through some situations in my life, some public, some not, some things that just inspired me and gave me something to write about. And then, I and just random things that I paid attention to more so than I maybe never would have, just because I had the time to.
Hmm.
I tried to focus on what I could. But I didn't also force the issue though. I didn't say, all right, today I woke up not inspired, but I'm going to try to figure out how to get inspired. I didn't do that.
Okay.
Sometimes it would, like you said, it did come in bursts. There was one week I wrote 3 songs. There was a month I didn't write any. So
Mm.
it's not something that was really forced. It just kind of happened. And luckily we ended up getting enough songs to make the double album, because we had made the decision to do it. And I needed to write some songs during quarantine to get there. So luckily I was inspired enough to get to that point. But um, I think the non-forceful nature of the songs that were written during quarantine made it come from a more honest place than it would have any other way. So hopefully that brought a fresh perspective to some new songs that'll be on the album, and I'm proud of them all. So
Yeah.
that's the only thing I can say for sure.
Well, I imagine that you must either deliver under pressure because you actually reached out to the fans. You're like, hey, should I do a double album? Which obviously you knew the answer was going to be yes to that. But was that preemptively that you thought, okay, is this going to push me to continue to write songs? Or did you already have it all laid out by then and you were going to release
It
it
was
no matter
I was already recording. I was already in the recording
what?
process. I kind of just wanted to. I mean, I have had all this time, so I figured other artists had all this time. No one else had announced the double album yet. I just figured I just went ahead and get out in front and just let them know.
Yeah. And I can't wait. I'm really, really pumped for that as well.
Thanks.
And I know that your band too, like I mentioned, you've been with them since day one, but you kind of started by doing like cover songs initially. Like, how did you get into songwriting? Like, were you there day to day YouTubing like how to write a song? Or like, how did you figure it out how to do this and kind of separate that cover band thing to, hey, I want to be taken seriously as a songwriter?
Yeah, well, I mean, I the cover band thing was it was like, so I started writing songs. I've always liked words and music, but I never put the two together until I was about 19. I wrote poems and speeches and stuff like that growing up. I've always just enjoyed that kind of stuff. Um, but I didn't put them together, like I said, till I was 19. So I started doing that and writing songs and learning the guitar. I had learned piano and violin as a younger kid, so I already understood music
Wow.
at a decent amount. Yeah, but I never practiced guitar, so I went to Walmart and bought a chord chart and hung it up in my room and started learning. To the best of my ability, taught myself to play guitar and enough to put words to them. And my first songs, I probably, pretty bad. But
I'll
I,
be the judge of that. I'll be the judge of that. You send them my way. I'll let you know what I think. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how I find them. They weren't recorded. I would just remember them because hell, it's been 8 years ago now. But whenever we started to get to Nashville, a guy, Kevin Neal, who's a booking agent, said, "Hey, I know you have songs. I know you have a band, but a lot of people come to Nashville and they have a band when they move here, but that band quickly changes because that band is not very good." But luckily, anyway, he told us to go. He wanted us to play some cover gigs and to
Yeah.
see if we were actually any good or not, and make us tighter. If we were good, the only thing it's going to do is make us better, learning that many songs, together. Because I didn't
Yeah.
have that many songs to be able to play for 3 hours, so
Yeah.
we had to do that for a little while. And luckily, my band, they rose to the occasion. They're incredible. They love their job. They love music. They constantly are doing music. So it was that was
Sometimes
that,
you gotta do
but
things you don't like to motivate you to do things you do.
that's what I was about to say. I did not really like that, having to sing 3 or 4 hours of other people's music. Some of it I enjoyed, some of it I didn't. But it definitely let me know I want to be able to sing my own songs. So that pushed me even harder. And then learning how to songwrite. I already had a somewhat of I guess, a natural grasp on it, but I learned a lot from people here in town in Nashville. When I first got here 5 years ago, I started writing with some of the big dogs immediately. Craig Wiseman was one of that's notable. He's one of the best songwriters, one of the best dudes, and just someone who's like a big brother to me. And he taught me a lot. And just being able to get in the room with people like that who've had success, you kind of gain a I don't know, a gauge on how to do it. But you take things from them, but all the at the same time you throw your personal flair into it, and it's learned. I do think it's learned. I think you need to have that natural ability, but I think there's a lot to be learned from people who have been successful at it. As long as you don't lose yourself by trying to be them, as long as
Yeah.
you can have your own thing, you can kind of see the lay of the land a little bit. And I've been extremely blessed to be around a lot of good people, a lot of great talents.
Yeah. It sounds like you had some great mentorship as soon as you got in to kind of help motivate you through.
I did. I've been really, really fortunate with who has entered my life. Just I kind of whenever I moved here to Nashville, I took a meeting with Big Loud, who's my record label now. I had a meeting with Joey Moy and Seth and Craig, and that was my only meeting. I didn't even entertain other record labels, and I don't even really know why, because they didn't have that much going on at the time. They didn't
You
have
never
much to show
know.
for it at all.
Yeah.
But I just felt at home, and I was their second artist they signed, and they've just believed in me from day one. And they've always kind of understood me. We've never fought, we've never argued. We've disagreed on things, just like like humans do, but we figure it out. And I am very, very, very blessed to be where I'm at, and I have the people looking out for me that do.
I love that you're self-taught too, but I know you're in a rush, so I will let you go. But I didn't have it like too much time to touch on SNL, but man, I absolutely loved it. I love that you poked fun at yourself. I think that goes to show just what a great sense of humor you have. And it was just a perfect skit. And I love that Jason Bateman was in there. And I hope that maybe you will do some acting in the future because you were natural at that.
Thank you. I had a blast. I had so much fun doing that. It was awesome, and I'm a huge fan of Jason Bateman's too. So that was pretty. It was a pretty special weekend for me.
Was that the most nervous that you've been in a long time?
Well, I mean, yeah, I haven't really had much. I haven't had that much else going on about to be nervous about. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was. Yeah, I
Give me a
wasn't
quick
super
second.
nervous though. They made me feel very like it was not stressful at all. They were awesome to work with. So it was, but
I
I was
love
still a little nervous. Yeah.
that. Well, thanks so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. And just absolutely pumped about everything you're doing. Dangerous, the double album. Stoked about that. And yeah, thanks so much. And keeping your authentic, true self, because that's what we're eating up over here. So, and
Thank you.
keep the haircut. We all really like that as well. It's a
It's
good look.
it's not it's not going anywhere
Yeah.
anytime soon.
Thanks, man. Take care. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.
Bye.